be discussing topics that is associated with EDSI. These are very simple topics class na commonly discussed in elementary science. What we're going to do today is just to review the concepts and at the same time siguro ma-inform mo regarding how these concepts can be taught in elementary. So we have to emphasize though that because we're education students, our focus is really into how to teach the subject rather than how to solve the subject. Na sometimes makalimutan sa uban class ang concept. So why am I saying that? Because today our topic is all about conversions and also very simple topics like speed, distance, the law of motions. These are our topic for today. Okay, ma-present ako. Kita?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this is a lessons for 1, 2, 3. So the composition of this topic revolves around motion, distance, the metric system. We also have law of motion, conversion of temperature from Fahrenheit, Celsius, and Kelvin, and of course, light. So mag-uban na ng ubang topic anak class. Today, we'll begin first with the concept of motion. This is for grade 3 actually. Mix it tayo pakabis. This is for grade 3. So, not only to grade 5. Motion, of course, is related also to force. So, motion may be defined as a change of an object's position as caused by force. So, remember, force, there are natural forces. An example of natural forces is magnetic force, gravitational force. These are natural forces. Other forces is not caused by human, for example, through pushing, through heating. These are all, let's say, forces. And if an object moved from one point to another because of that force, this is now considered to be motion. There can be no motion without a force or a set of forces. Forces therefore initiate the influence of motion. So if there is no force, there will be no motion. That's why, that's why our initiate gives a motion will always be forces. For example, nahulog ang apple sa gravitational force na. Ang movement niya is downward. Remember, motion can either be upward, downward, forward, backwards. These are an example to that. Example, pushing of a cabinet. So force of friction will be let's say, magpalisod og tuklod sa imo ha, then imong force nimo, pushing force nimo, ang magapag-move sa tawag nato cabinet. And we also have hitting the ball are also good examples of what we call motion and force. The relationship between motion and motion and force. So there should be a force, not a motion. So para nalis si motion, dapat force na force maputang. Whether ikaw ang maputang sa force or it is a natural force like magnetism or gravitational force. Depende na siya. Okay? Next. Okay, yung sunod. Okay, sige. So these are basics for elementary. Ipasabot ninyo sa mga estudyante. So, kuha po ni siya itudlo through what? Demonstration. For example, ituklod sa bata. So, there is motion. For example, ituklod sa bata ang pader. Nang lihok ba? Wala. Wala. Although na force, pero wala motion. Why? Because there is no movement at all with the sa pader. Ano kayang reason? Might be the force is not enough para ma-move ang pader. Of course, pader na siya class. So, mo na siya ang reason. Or, for example, maghulog kag ballpen, gikan sa salog, so there is a motion because the gravitational force ang nagpahulog sa gamit pa ilalo. So, these are good a lesson. Mas maayo siya itudlo through demonstration or through videos. Pwede na siya itudlo. Next, distance. Remember this class came triangle? This is actually the formula in getting distance, speed, and time. I encountered this when I was in grade 5. Recall this in my first year high school and fourth year high school. When I was in college, wala na siya gibalik because this is a very basic topic. Encounter ako na siya balik sa board exam in which kani mo gud na topic ang science, distance, time, wala siya ug math. Duha na. It's either as duha. Kani siya ang dapat memorize ninyo sa paggamit ani. Kani silang na formula. For example, mangita tag distance, it's always speed times time. Kung time naman, distance over speed. Kung speed naman, distance over time. Ano na siya class. So, what is distance? Of course, distance refers or measures how far or near 2 points are from one to another. So, si distance class can be measured in different ways. It can be through body parts, through units like kilometers, meters, miles, pwede na siya. And sometimes distance is affected by the speed, of course, and the movement within one point to another. We use meter to measure distance. Sometimes we use kilometers and miles to measure distance. So, wala siyang ginagamit na measurement sa uban. Of course, sa tuwa karon kilometer man ta kay metric system man ta diri sa Pilipinas. Sa abroad, they use miles because they're much more of an English system. System tawag na English system. Miles silang gamit. So, distance, we know this very well, from one point to another point. Okay. So, another thing to consider is the metric system. Of course, kabalo mo metric system, tama? Tama ba, class? Class, okay ba mo?
Yes, sir.
Ano mang natulala man? Okay.
Opo,
The first one, we have the length. We use the meter. Meter is the basic. Remember, class, sa metric system, lagi na clue. Kung tag centi, deci, the meter, the kilometer, these are the terms. For example, ang centi usually is 1, represents 1. Ang deci represents 10 from deci, deka, ano na. Ang basic unit, that's 100. 100 of it. Next, then kilo, it's 1,000. So if we say centiliter, deciliter, 1 liter, and then 1 kiloliter. Then centimeter, 1 na. How many centimeter are there in 1 decimeter? 10. How many centimeter are there in 1 meter? 100. How many centimeter are there in 1 kilometer? How many meters are there in 1 kilometer? That's 1,000 meters. So, ibig sabihin kasi it is always interpreted this way. Namo ko na clue si metric system, but I know it very well kabalo mo ana. Atong focus karon is how are we going to convert? For example, mag-convert ta. Time. Atong focus. This is a formula. Okay, remember ha, formula to. So, siya, ay, sa mag-calculator dahil may, okay. Kanang yun ako ganina. Sa education class, as an education student, dapat ang focus nato is dili ang answer. Ang focus nato, giunsa nato pagkuha ang answer. That's the focus. Why? Because itudlo man nato ang proseso. Dili ang answer to itudlo. Ay, tudlo nato ang proseso. And remember, class, sa board exam, wala natin calculator. Education, dili na allowed ang calculator sa board exam. So, tubig gamay. Ibig sabihin, tanan problem nung sa board exam, isolve na nimo siya. So, no more calculators. So, as today, mag-practice na mo mag-solve na walay calculator. Kay, sa board exam, wala calculator. Sa conversion of unit, ani ang formula. So, may bata, sir, ma-confuse kami ana, class. Ano mo edmat 1, no? Kita mas mo sa edmat 1 naman yung mga algebra dito. Because that was grade 5 and grade 6 mathematics. For elementary, this is not new anymore. Ako bang elementary class kabulon sa ani kung nagtarong tudlo ilang maestra, pero kung wala, well, of course, di sila kabuluan eh. Pero kung nagtarong tudlo, kabulon sila ani. So example, i-convert nato si 1 hour and 30 minutes to minutes. So ang pag-convert anak class simple lang. Example, kani 4.5 hour, okay, 2 minutes. So ang gagawin natin class, we have to cancel first hour. In what way? Anak. How many minutes are there in 1 hour? 60 minutes in 1 hour. Ito na, 1 hour, 60 minutes. Denominator na ha. Then, makancel ni si HR. Makancel. Tanawa, wala na ay R dire. Ang next step is si 4.5 times 60. Si 4.5 times 60, ano M naman? Meter mo yun, minutes. Times 60, because 270 divided by 1 is equal to 270. So the result is 270 minutes. Okay. Na-confuse mo, maghimo tag lahing problem. Let's try. Uy, kan pa. Ito ang problem ha. Kani class. Let's try this problem. Let's convert. Solve mo ha. 6.3 kilometers to meter. Simple lang kayo ni siya, class. Proseso tayo ha, to meter. Unsa ang answer? Okay. Unsa ang first step? Convert na to. How many? Okay, buta sa lalo. You have to first cancel kilometer. So 1 kilometer. Okay, how many meter are there in 1 kilometer? Sila?
1,000.
1,000.
1,000, sir.
1,000. Mapintik na naging 100 kang taod-taod. Okay, 1,000 meters. Okay, 1,000 meters. Okay. So, ang gagawin natin, we are now going to cancel out. Cancel na si kilometer, cancel si kilometer. Now, let's move here. So, what will happen here? It will be into 6.3. Ay, saan eh? 6.3. Ano siya, 1 kilometer na class. Kaya na-cancel ito sa kilometer. Times 1,000 meter. So, the answer is
6,300 meters, sir.
Hmm? Ah, 6,000, tama? 300 meter. Very good. That is now the answer. Sir, what if we convert na to? 6.3 kilometers to centimeter. Sige daw. Let's now solve 6.3 kilometers to centimeter. Okay. Tayo na itong solve na class ha. Let's try. Let's convert 6.3 kilometers to centimeter. Okay. Ang first step class is still the same. Remember, in our metric system of conversion, walay direct conversion si kilometer to centimeter. Wala na direct conversion class. Wala. Wala. So, ang gagawin natin class, ang uban sa inyo, ikaw na, 1 kilometer is equals to 10,000 centimeter. Ano ninyo? Ang question ako, kaya ba i-deal sa elementary ang anak kadagko na number? So, deal it, sir. In short, tagi-tagihon na ninyo. So, if it's kilometer to centimeter, ang unang step, ana, is i-convert sa nimo si kilometer to meter. Which, ikaw na, 6,300. And then, i-convert na to si meter to centimeter. Ah, okay. Okay na. How many in 1 meter, pila man ka centimeter?
100, sir.
Okay, 100. Ay, pa ko to zero ta. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to cancel this M. Makancel na sa M, diba? So the result will be 6,300 then 100 cm. So what is the final answer? Pila? Tama?
630,000 po.
Okay, 630,000 centimeter. So, ibig sabihin, class, if we're going to have, let's say, dako na pag-jump sa pag-compute o conversion, like for example, centimeter to kilometer, dili din mo jump na, okay, 10,000 centimeter, dili. Isa-isaw na to na siya. Unahon na to i-convert si kilometer to meter, and then si meter to centimeter. Ing-ana ang pag-solve. Ano umanin mo, sir? So that, makitaan sa bata, i-simplify na to, or let's say, atong itagi-tagihon og solve, in a way na ang bata, ma-digest dahil niya ang pag-answer nimo. Kung itakurat na yung class, ang bata ba sa elementary, the more makitag number, the more malipong. College manggani, malipong manggani. So, ibig sabihin, para mas madali ang conversion, tigi-tigihon nimo siya. Like, kilometer, ibalisa na to sa 2 meter, and then si meter, i-convert na to into centimeter. I-ayin na siya now, pag solve. Sa elementary, kaya din ang elementary. Ayaw underestimate class because if na-discuss yung maayo, ang foundation about this subject, di kayo maglisod yung mga estudyante sa elementary. Ang problema mo sa elementary, kamo, in the future, magtudlo na gigmat, ang himuon lang ninyo, mapamemorize ng multiplication table, di na mo mag-solve. Diba? So, example, kani science mo na, sir. Remember, ang science ug math, tambal na sila. Lagi na yung numbers kanunay ng duha. Especially pag na sa physics ug chemistry. So, kamo, imutudlo mong elementary, like conversion of units, dapat prepared mo kanunay. Remember, generalismo, dili mo mamili og subject. Dapat kabulong mo tudlo sa tanan subject. Gets? Especially if na-assign mo first section kana gyud class. Kaya ginabalik-balik ako sa inyo ha, makaminos ang bata, bakit ang di ka kabalo mo kuha sa problem. Although, kung man mamali ta, diba? For example, ako mamali mo palag sa class, normal man na siya, makasabot mo ng bata ana. Pero kung kada-adlon lang ka mali, kada solve mo na mali, maniho, pagka ugba mali gyapon, tibok si man na mali, delikado na siya. So therefore, andaman na nimo. Sa conversion of unit, ing-ani gyud na kanunay. Okay? Especially for kanima metric conversion chart. Asa man sila inches, asa man sila feet, that is in mathematics. In science, manggod, what makes science different is that mo stick mo sa science sometimes in one metric system lang, one system lang. Whereas sa metric system or English system, mo stick sa science anya. And usually science sticks with metric system or sometimes the SI mo stick siya. Muna di kita og conversion to feet to inches pag science. Pero sa math, daghan na. Science banta, we're only going to use one system, which is the metric system. Okay? Question sa conversion. Dali. In town, di mo mag-calculator ha. Ay, di mo kita sa inyo ha. I doubt bakit anta mo kung mag-solve. Sayang. Questions. Conversions. Question class. Wala. Pagka-bright. Okay, let's go with speed. A while ago, we discussed how distance refers to, of course, one point to another. We use to measure distance, whether it's in meter, kilometer, miles. Wala itong ginagamit to measure distance. In this time, we'll be moving with speed. Ang speed class refers to unsa kapaspason ang isa ka butang para na-cover yung isa ka distance. For example, 10 kilometers, unsa kapaspason siya. So, as we're going to look at the formula a while ago, katong triangle, speed can be solved through distance over time. Distance over time. Ibig sabihin, class, we can only solve speed if mahatag o mag-given ang oras o ang distance na covered within sa time period. Speed uses meter per second or kilometer per hour. Okay. Actually, daghan na class. Pwede ta mag miles per hour, pwede na. Pwede po mag meter per minute, pwede na. But because we're in elementary, we are going to stick with two measures. It's meter per second and kilometer per hour. Okay? Kanang higher level ni speed that will now be introduced in grade 7. But for grades 5 and 6, we stick with 2, meter per second and kilometer per hour. So, kano sa gamitin si meter per second and kilometer per hour? Ako suggest, you're going to use meter per second or kilometer per hour depende sa time. For example, ang time is minutes, like naman siya within 45 minutes, naman siya within 30 minutes. I believe it's better to stick with meter per second kung kana. Pero if R, like 2.5 hour, or 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours. So therefore, mas maayo mo stick ka na with kilometer per hour. So sa time ka mo tanaw. So kung minutes lang kayo seconds, meter per second tayo. Pero kung kilometer, we'll go with kung oras, yung kilometer per hour. For example, this problem. A tricycle drove to passenger's house that is 20 meters away from the station in 10 minutes. What is the speed of the tricycle? Di na masunod si conversion. If you're going to look at this problem, minutes ang given na time. Wala tayong minutes per meters per minutes dire. It's either meter per second or kilometer per hour. So what we're going to do first is convert these minutes into second before ta makaproceed og distance over time. Nga naman, we have to first to reach this meter and second na unit before ta makasolve sa problem. Di pwede, okay, 10 divided by 20, 10 divided by 10. Okay, 2 meters per minute. Good siya. But wala ba 3 meters per minute din eh. Ato is meter per second man o kilometer per hour. So first thing is to convert minutes into seconds. So same kanina. Para mo cancel, tabok pa. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Remember, dili maapektuhan si 20. Why? 1 lang na siya. So 20 times 1, 20. Yung kada si minute, makancel naman na siya. So what like we per meter. And then 10 times 60 is equals to 600 seconds. So the result now is equals to 0.033 meter per second. Yung ana pagkuha. Okay. Simple naman eh. Let's try to do this. Ani class. A tricycle drove to a passenger's house but is 2 kilometers away from the station in 8 minutes. What is the speed of the tricycle? Sige daw. Manawag ko ba masolve ani? Sige. Ay, sige, pag-solve sa mo dira. Nag-solve. Ala, imingon naman. Kisa mo try mo solve ani. Siyempre ha. Betty, kaya ni mo ni?
Yan, sir. Yung solve ako, sir.
Okay, sige, go. Tell me if ako na mag-solve ha. Kung nag-solve, basta ba naghidahiga ako bandira.
Sir. Try, sir.
Kisa di mo diya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ay, amo diya kabalo na makaani. Kay science man ka dati. Sige, amo diya, what's your answer?
Try run, sir. 0.0041, sir.
Meter per second or kilometer per hour gamit?
Kuan. Kilometer per hour.
Aha.
Ay, wala ko ano sir.
Sige, convert sa na. Change it to meter per second. Remember, minutes lang ni siya. Sige, so, ibalik sa nakamo diya, convert sa to meter per second. Kinsa man dili makasolve kaya. Oh, Pebi. Kulo. Solve ni mo ni? Pebi?
Sir, nagbibog ko atong 1 og kaning
Nasa ma'am?
1 og 60 sir kay
Conversion. Conversion.
wait lang mag-solve ko sir.
Sige.
1 minute.
64 sir.
Yes? Ang sa question? Sige.
Once.
Balik ito problem.
Ito sa example number 1, sir.
Ano
Di
ba?
mo kita itong 1 minute over 60 seconds.
Oh, yes. Conversion.
Conversion sa man, sir?
Conversion sa minute. Di ba? Ito i-convert si minute into seconds. Because we cannot have an answer na meter per minute. Because ang answer dapat meter per second. So dapat ang taas meter ang ilalong second. Ang problema, ang taas meter ang ilalong minute. So ang gagawin natin, we are going to convert this first si minutes into seconds. How many seconds are there in 1 minute? 60 seconds in 1 minute. So nga na mas taas si minute. Para ma-cancel out si minute, tabok dapat na sila. So minutes and minutes cancel. So therefore, naing-ani na siya now. Gets?
Sir, ang answer, sir, kay 4.166 meter per second po.
166. 100.
4.166 meter per second.
Equal na, Betty, 2 decimal point lang ta. 4
16 meter per second, sir.
Okay, good. So i-convert ito 617 per second.
Okay, sir. I-run up lang na, sir.
Okay na, good. That's a good answer, ta? Okay, giyon sa magkuha na, Betty. Okay, kita na to. Okay. Ang answer ni Betty is 4.17 meter per second. Okay, giyon sa pagkuha na. Ay na, class. First things first, ay, Newton naman ta. Mag-convert sa ta. Okay. Una, ito i-convert si meters into seconds. Sir, kung saan pulot ani, sir? Balik ta. Ano o conversion? Conversion. It is always the opposite ang number. Dili pwede na kanisiwan ilalom. Nga naman, di man na makancel class. Kung minutes diri, di na makancel. Dapat tabok pa na. Dapat tabok na sila. Tabok, para makancel. So to cancel this 10 minutes, let's first convert it into seconds. So, 1 minute, 60 seconds. So the answer is 2 kilometers equals to 8 minutes naman tanaw, not 10 minutes. 8 minutes. 480, tama?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. 480 seconds. That's the first answer. Now the question, sir, masolve na ba nato siya? Dili gyapon. Remember, the unit that we target is meter per second. This is still kilometer. Ang gagawin natin, we are then going to convert na pod this kilometer into meters. So, ang mangyari, baliktad ta. Baliktad na po ka. In 1 kilometer, there are how many meters?
1,000, sir.
1,000 meter. Okay. Baliktad. Makancel na sa KM. Yan naman, because cross na siya class. So cross. Okay. So, KM now will be cancelled. Same unit will be cancelled. Equals, tempa. Kapita. Should be. Okay. 1,000 meter times 2 equals to 2,000 meters over 48 seconds. Okay. 48. 480 day. 48 naman seconds. Another question. Ma-convert na to siya. Okay. Now, ma-solve na to siya, dili. Ma-solve na because not a meter of second. So, 2,000 divided by 480, the answer is yan. That is now the answer. 4.17 meter. Aga, mas pamiling. Wild the pod. 4.17 meter per second. That is now the answer. Taas, no? But this is grade 5 mathematics. So, kaya ka na. So, nakuha na to siya. The answer is 4.17 meter per second ang travel ani niya. Okay? Now, let's try. Class, kadog pa mo? Okay pa, dira? Okay pa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kulbaan ko sa inyo. Okay. So, the answer is 4.17 meter per second. Sige daw, questions sa. Dali, isa-isa. The
Concert.
Sige, go.
Automatic na siya round off, sir.
Right after that, so, yes. 2 decimal point lang ta. Tembet is 3. Technically, sa kuan man good sa secondary, ano dapat na? Diba? 3 digit. Elementary man good ta, 2 digit ito ang ginagamit for elementary. Okay. Isa pa, questions?
Sir, asa nakuha ang 1 kilometer?
Conversion. Okay. This given are all for the sake of conversions. It means, muna sila ang mga conversion na mga, nasaman, na column. Nga naman, to get or to transfer this kilometer into meter, dato gyud siya i-convert into into the unit na dapat maabot niya, which is meter per second. So kani siya, para ma-convert na to siya, of course, we're going to do the same way as what we did here. Diba? So 1 hour equals to 60 minutes. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meter. 100 centimeter is equals to 1 meter. These are the conversions. It means this number here are all conversions. Mo ni sila itong gamiton para ma-convert ning mga data into this data. Handod ang kilometer, ma-move na to siya into meter per second. Muna siya class ang pagkuha ana. Well, mo encounter ani elementary? When you're in elementary, anong klaseng conversion ang gihimo sa yung teacher para mag-solve ang conversion? Sige daw, yun saan yung pag-convert?
Kalimot na, sir.
Nakalimot na. Or ikaw tamban-tamban na style na yung reason lang, so times ato?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ato. Kaya pala, when I was in elementary, sa grade 5, kuan yun, katong taman-tamban. Grade 6 class kayo naman good. This is how we get it in grade 6. Namo na pag-solve. Mo ni siya. Might be sa MTOP mo pag grade 6 class. Mamugod niya mong gina. Sa MTOP, di ba dati, quiz B, mamugod niya siya ang solusyon sa pag-convert. So kami, tibok grade 6, kuan, ang teacher is MTOP ba na mo style pagtudlo, mo tudlo may conversion. So in ani ang conversion dati, ang kani given, then this column will always be the conversion. Constant yun na, 1, then the conversion. 1, then the conversion. Dapat yun, opposite yun na sila. Kung minutes dire, dapat sa taas na siya. Kung kani. Kung kani siya ang gusto i-cancel out, kaning taas, dapat sa ilalom na ang iyong cancel. Pagtabok, tanggal ang km, then 2 lang mabilin, i-times mo 1,000 meter, it will be 2,000 meter. So, kani si kilometer, na-cancel naman na siya. Remember, we canceled this already with this. So, this is 1. Then 1 times 480 seconds, it will be 480 seconds gapon na. So, that is how this is solved in ala pagkuha. Especially for this problem. Okay. Sige, let's have another problem. Finding solved class ha. Let's try. Ano pa ha? Ilang minutes ba dapat? Okay. Okay, kani. Try. The distance is 15 kilometers away from the station in 11 minutes. What is the speed of the tricycle? Sige, solve. Nag-solve mo, class?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Sir.
Okay, humana?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Good. Now, let's call someone to solve. Jazel, Soliva. Soliva, dai. Napakadila, dai. Jazel. Agoy, natulog ka sa Soliva. Agoy, natulog. Ah, nawala na siya. Wala. Soliva, dai? 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 Jazel, dai? Dai? Okay na ka? Dai? Agoy,
Wala.
natulog.
Sir, try.
Kinsa mo try? Ay, si Beverly. Empa, let's try. Kinsa to, Beverly? Volunteer?
Po.
Try lang, sir.
Try lang? Beverly, to? Kasi, ay, si Bulawan.
Bulawan, sir.
Bulawan. Okay, Bulawan. What's yung answer, Dai? Sige daw.
22.73 meters per second.
Okay. Sa'yo mag-answer, class? Dili.
Yes,
Same,
sir.
sir.
Same, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Same, sir.
Ay, competitive. Sige daw, let's first convert. Okay, 15 kilometers. Let's first convert the seconds to minutes. So we're going to maintain 15 kilometers. And let's convert this into 11. So 11 times 60, what's your answer?
60.
660.
600.
660.
660
Good.
seconds.
And then we're going to convert now into meter. So 1 kilometer to meter, this will now result into
15,000 seconds.
15,000 meter over 660
660.
seconds. Okay. So 15,000 plus arrange yung maayo. Okay. So 15,000 meters divided by let's just say 660 seconds is equals to okay
22.73 meter per second.
22 or 73 na siguro siya pwede man 3 meter per second. Ibigay siya kayo go. Okay. 22.73 or 72 meter per second. So this is now the answer. So in every 22 meters, it will cover what we call 1 second, 22 meters. Just paspas ba yung dagan? Kaman di ay okay. So this is now the answer. 22.73 meter per second. Tama? Okay, good. Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Good. Tama. Okay, now let's discuss the last topic for today. This is just the laws of motion in a simpler way. Remember, we can discuss this better if there is an example in the classroom. Although in your college, kabalo na mo ani, who's going to recall the laws of motion according to Newton? The law number 1 is the law of inertia. The law of number 2 is acceleration, diba? And number 3 is interaction. So law number 1 dictates that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted on by an unbalanced force. An object in motion will continue with constant speed and direction unless acted on unbalanced force. It means the object at rest will stay at rest and the object in motion will stay in motion unless na ay force na magpadagan sa iyaha o magpaundang sa iyaha. That's the first law of motion. Ang second law of motion naman, acceleration of an object depends on the mass of the object and the amount of force applied. When I say acceleration, ang pagdagan sa object nakadepende sa iyang force o sa iyang kabugaton. Remember class, acceleration is inversely proportional to its, what to say, mass. It means, for example, nagdula kag PE, nag-volleyball ka. Pahabak mo sa volleyball, sa bola na volleyball, nilagpot siya og 5 meters. Okay, same force ha. Ano nihabak mo kag bola. Pero ihapak mo kon is bola sa basketball. Ang bola sa basketball mas bugat na kaysa sa volleyball. So therefore, as expected, dakong chance na ang malagputan sa bola sa basketball will be shorter than sa bola sa volleyball. Nga naman, because in the second law of motion, it dictates that the acceleration is affected by your force o sa kung tira o katong imong gilabay. So kung bugat imong gilabay, as expected, gamay lang ang malagputan niya compared sa gaan mong ilabay. Example sa Olympics. Kung maglabay ka og baseball, bola sa baseball, mas malayo na siya maabtuan kaysa kung shot put, katong bola shot put, bugat kaayo. Nga naman, because pag bugat class, magbugat, hinagid ang udagan. That's one problem. Because mass can affect, okay, mass can affect acceleration. Sa sakyanan, magdagan ang sakyanan, kung daghay taong sa kasakyanan, hinagid ang dagan compare sa sakyanan ng isa lang tao. Kung parehas og force ha. Pero sir, maka-overtake man lagi na ubang sakyanan daghay tao sa katong gamay ng tao. Ano man, gitaasan niya iyang force. Example, isa ka sakyanan way tao. Ang dagan niya is 40 kilometers per hour. Isa ka sakyanan daghay tao. Overtake niyo tong walay tao, ano man, iyang dagan is 80 or 90 kilometers per hour. of course, because of force. Pero, ang hinahanap lang siya kusog na force para maka-overtake. So, pero kung equal ilang force class, weight can be a big problem. Kung tambok ka, usually, hindi ka mudagan because, of course, weights or mass can affect acceleration. So, muna, maglalagay ka ng endurance imong force. Ano siya. Ang interaction naman, in every action, there is a reaction. So, for example, ituklod mo pader, ay, nagbaktas ka. Pag baktas mo sa yuta, every time mo tama ka sa yuta, nabo na reaction si gravity, ana. Equal po ang force, ana niya. Look at the picture. Pag ituklod mo siya, nabo na kapalit na mo tuklod sa imuha. Sa bangko, for example, pag lingkod mo sa bangko, kala po si bangko, also, yung give po siya force equal sa imong kabugaton. Exact na lang class kung hindi nyo makaya imong kabugaton, nadaot na yun siya. Pero, usually, this third law of motion dictates that every time na action, it always gives, okay, same force in the opposite direction. Dire, ana. Kada baktas na ako, si gravity po, nagabigay po na siya force, kaparehas po sa force na ako, ano nagalakaw ko. And that's the third law of motion. Okay. So tomorrow, we'll be discussing kani conversion of Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius, and Celsius to Kelvin. And then, we'll discuss simple machines and gatong light. After that, exam na! Surprise, surprise! Okay. So, it's already 5:32. That is all for this afternoon. Now, may questions?
Wala na, sir.